You have 50,000 limiting beliefs attacking your mind right this moment. While you're watching this video and trying to improve your life, your own brain is running a self-sabotage program that was installed long before you were even aware of it. After studying 500 millionaires for 20 years, Napoleon Hill uncovered a shocking truth. 98% of people fail not due to a lack of ability, but because their minds have been programmed for failure since childhood. The National Science Foundation revealed that you have 50,000 thoughts per day, with 95% being exactly the same as the day before. You're not living. You're trapped in an outdated mental loop that sabotages you with every passing second. But today, everything will change. Today, I'll reveal the 7 micro habits Hill discovered that can reprogram your limiting beliefs in just 30 days. You can apply the first one right now, even as you're watching this video. The 7th will reorganize how your subconscious works 24 hours a day. Get ready, because your mind will never be the same again. Let's begin. The first habit that will transform your limiting beliefs is the Daily Belief Audit. Napoleon Hill observed that most people exist in what he termed mental autopilot. You wake up, go through your morning routine, and your mind follows the same well-worn thought patterns day after day. You're operating on autopilot, not truly present. Think of your brain as similar to ChatGPT. It was trained with billions of data points. But in your case, these data are all the experiences, frustrations, and fears you've accumulated throughout your life. Just like an AI, it generates responses rooted in its accumulated experiences. The core issue is that your mental programming likely came from people wrestling with their own limiting beliefs. Intro end. Intro end. Your parents, teachers, and friends unconsciously shaped your mindset with phrases like, "Money doesn't bring happiness," "You need to work hard to succeed," or "People like us can't achieve that." Here's how to do this in practice. For just 10 minutes each morning, you'll catch these automatic thoughts. When your mind says, "I can't do this," pause and ask yourself, where did this belief originate? Who first planted this idea? Is this really true, or just a mental program? And here's the part that might surprise you. You can do this right now as you're watching this video. Pause for a second and capture the first thought that comes to mind. Then question, is it yours or from someone who programmed you? You're not broken. You're simply running on autopilot. And once you understand this, everything changes. Now that you know how to catch your automatic thoughts during the day, let's explore the second habit, the Atomic Faith Protocol. When you can stop the autopilot, the next step is to consciously direct it. Napoleon Hill always maintained that faith is the foundation of all success, and he wasn't referring to religious faith. He was talking about a faith so subtle yet consistent that it becomes unshakable. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, uncovered a fascinating insight. If you improve by just 1% each day, you'll be 37 times better in a year. Hill had already understood this in 1937, albeit under a different name. He argued that small positive beliefs, when consistently repeated, transform into absolute truths in your mind. Here's how the Atomic Faith Protocol works in real life. Every day, you'll choose one belief about yourself, just one, and you'll vote for it. If you've always seen yourself as an unlucky person, you'll spend 5 minutes a day voting for the belief, "I constantly attract opportunities." You don't need to believe it at first. You're just voting. Think of it this way. Your identity is an election that happens in your mind every day. Each thought you have is a vote. For years, you've unconsciously voted for limiting beliefs. Now you'll consciously vote for empowering beliefs. One belief at a time, one vote at a time, one day at a time. In 30 days, you won't just have changed one belief. You'll have changed your mental voting system. You'll have become the type of person who consciously votes for their own success. Now here's where things get truly fascinating. Prepare to be amazed. Now that you understand how to consciously vote for new beliefs during the day, let's talk about how to program these beliefs even deeper during the night. The third habit, reprogramming through self-suggestion. Hill uncovered a remarkable insight. The subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between an actual experience and a powerfully imagined one. He called this self-suggestion, but today we know this is neuroplasticity in action. First, let's understand the basic concept. Your brain functions much like a biological form of artificial intelligence. And just as you can train ChatGPT with new data, you can retrain your brain with new experiences, even if they are imaginary. Now that this is clear, here's the exact protocol. Every night before sleeping, you will spend 15 minutes programming your subconscious with the version of yourself you want to become. This is not passive visualization. It's active programming. You will speak out loud with emotion, describing in detail the person you are becoming. I am a confident person who makes decisions decisively. I deserve success and consistently work to achieve my goals. Opportunities appear for me because I am prepared and attentive. Imagine Maria, an accountant who always saw herself as just another employee. She started programming. I am a financial leader who transforms businesses. In 90 days, she was promoted to manager. Why? Because her mindset began to seek opportunities that would validate this new identity. The key is that you are not lying to yourself. You are installing a new mental software. And your brain, which cannot distinguish between real and imaginary, will begin to create neural pathways that support this new identity. Here's the most fascinating part, and this will change everything for you. Your subconscious mind operates 24 hours a day. The question is, will you let it run the old program of limitation? Or will you consciously install the program of abundance and success? You have already learned to reprogram your mind individually, but now we arrive at the fourth habit, the Mastermind Assembly. Napoleon Hill discovered that limiting beliefs cannot survive in a room full of people who believe in possibilities. It's like trying to maintain a scarcity mindset in the midst of an abundance mindset. It simply doesn't work. The mastermind principle is not just about networking or exchanging ideas. It's about creating an environment where your limiting beliefs are constantly challenged and your empowering beliefs are constantly reinforced. Hill called this the coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people to achieve a defined purpose. But here's what he really meant. When you surround yourself with people who think bigger than you, your own limitations begin to seem ridiculous. When you hear someone casually talking about goals that you consider impossible, your mind automatically expands its notion of what is possible. Let me give you a concrete example. Imagine you and two friends meeting every Thursday at 7 p.m. via Zoom to share weekly goals. Joan shares that he wants to increase his income by 50% this year. Anna says she's studying to start her own business. Suddenly, your goal of getting a promotion seems small. Your mind starts thinking, what if I started my own business too? You don't need a formal organization. You need at least two people, including yourself, who meet regularly to share goals, challenges, and victories. The magic unfolds when you share your dreams with people who don't just accept them, but challenge you to think even more ambitiously. Limiting beliefs wither when brought into the light. They thrive in the isolation of your own mind. But when you place them at a table with people who believe in possibilities, they begin to dissolve naturally. This support sets the stage perfectly for the fifth and most powerful habit, the persistence override system. With the mastermind environment supporting you, you now need the ultimate tool to defeat any limiting belief, persistence. Napoleon Hill revealed that persistence is the ultimate mechanism for overcoming any limiting belief. But brace yourself, because the next habit is the most powerful of all, and few people know this secret. Here's a life-changing truth. Every failure contains the seed of an equivalent or even greater opportunity. Hill interviewed hundreds of successful individuals and discovered they shared one crucial trait. They failed repeatedly, yet never saw failure as proof of personal limitation. They interpreted failure as data for adjustment. In 2025, we're living in an instant gratification culture where persistence has become a rare superpower. While most people give up at the first obstacle, you'll develop what Hill called applied persistence. the ability to keep moving forward even when your mind is screaming at you to quit. The override system works like this. Whenever you encounter an obstacle, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" This simple shift in perspective transforms every failure into fuel for your personal growth. Here's a mind-blowing insight. Persistence isn't about willpower. It's about something much deeper, redesigning your relationship with difficulty. People with limiting beliefs see challenges as a sign they should quit. People with a growth mindset see difficulty as proof that they're on the right path. Just as a blacksmith forges steel through fire and pressure, you'll forge your new identity through persistent effort. Every time you push through when your mind wants to quit, you're literally rewriting your story of what you can endure. The persistence you've developed requires a clear purpose to be truly powerful, which brings us to the sixth habit, the cure of definitiveness. Hill identified a mental state he called drifting that plagues most people. They wander through life without a defined purpose, without specific plans, without clear direction. And limiting beliefs flourish in uncertainty. Here's a ruthless truth. Drifting leads to stagnation. Decisiveness is the path to life. There is no middle ground. You're either intentionally moving toward a specific goal, or you're passively drifting without direction. Decision paralysis is one of the most insidious forms of limiting belief. It makes you believe that you need to have all the answers before taking the first step. Hill found that successful people take action with imperfect plans, adapting quickly as they learn and receive feedback. Let me give you a practical example. Pedro always dreamed of having his own business, but was paralyzed thinking about all the details. When he embraced the principle of decisiveness, he wrote, "I will generate $10,000 monthly through consulting within 6 months." He didn't know how, but he defined exactly what he wanted. In 4 months, he had already reached the goal. The formula for definitive success has 3 key elements: written goals, specific plans, and burning desire. It's not enough to want something vaguely. You must define it with precision, plan meticulously, and desire it passionately. Every Sunday, map out precisely where you want to be next week, the specific steps you'll take, and why this matters profoundly to your life. This isn't mere planning. This is mental programming. You're programming your mind to seek opportunities, recognize resources, and take actions that align with your clear definition. Uncertainty breeds limiting beliefs. Clarity naturally dissolves them. When you know exactly where you're going, obstacles become temporary detours, not evidence that you should give up. Now we come to the most revolutionary habit, the secret Hill guarded most closely, the subconscious programming laboratory. You have clarity of purpose and defined plans, but Hill discovered there's an even more powerful force working in your favor, your subconscious mind operating 24 hours a day. Hill discovered that your subconscious operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when you're sleeping. It never stops. The question is it working for or against your goals? Is it executing success programs or sabotage programs? First, let's understand how this works. Modern science shows us that your brain processes information and forms connections even during sleep. It is literally reorganizing neural networks, strengthening some connections and weakening others. Now that this is clear, here's how to use it to your advantage. Hill called this accessing infinite intelligence, the ability of your subconscious mind to find solutions to problems that your conscious mind cannot solve. Wait until you discover how this works in practice, and it's going to seem like magic. The subconscious programming laboratory works like this. Every night, before going to sleep, you'll assign a task to your subconscious. This isn't about making vague requests. It's about giving specific instructions. I want you to show me 3 ways to increase my income in the next 30 days. Or, I want you to help me find a creative solution to this specific challenge. But here's the crucial point. You can program your subconscious for success or let it run default limitation programs. The choice is yours, but you must make an active choice. Your subconscious is the most powerful processing tool you possess. It's time to start using it consciously. Now you have the complete system. But here's what matters most. Now that you know all 7 habits and how they connect in a complete mental transformation system, I'm going to give you the exact implementation roadmap to transform this knowledge into real results in your life. This is no longer just content for you to passively consume. It's a system for you to actively execute. Week 1, Daily Belief Audit Implementation. Every day for 10 minutes in the morning, you'll intercept your automatic thoughts. Keep a notebook beside your bed. When you wake up, before even picking up your phone, write down the first thought that comes to mind. Then question, where does this come from? Who told me this first? Is it true or just programming? Week 2, add the Atomic Faith Protocol. Now that your morning audit is working, you'll add 5 minutes consciously voting for a new belief about yourself. Choose only 1 belief per week. If you've always seen yourself as not being good with money, spend 5 minutes every day repeating, I have a healthy and prosperous relationship with money. Vote for this belief 35 times in the first week. Week 3, integrate reprogramming through self-suggestion and form your Mastermind Assembly. At night, 15 minutes of subconscious programming describing the person you are becoming. And during this week, identify at least 1 person to be your mastermind partner. It can be a friend, colleague, or even someone online who shares similar goals. Week 4 and beyond, activate the persistence override system. Now that you have the other habits running, when you encounter obstacles, and you will encounter them, instead of interpreting them as personal limitations, interpret them as data for adjustment. Every difficulty becomes valuable information about how to persist more intelligently. Continuous. The subconscious programming laboratory and the cure for definitiveness operate constantly. Every Sunday, you precisely define where you want to be in the next week, and every night you program your subconscious to work on your goals while you sleep. The key is to implement 1 habit at a time until it becomes automatic, then add the next one. Don't try to do everything simultaneously. That's a recipe for failure and will reinforce your old limiting beliefs. Remember when I promised to reveal the 7 micro habits that can reprogram your limiting beliefs in 30 days? You now possess each one of them, from the daily audit that gives you awareness to the subconscious laboratory that works 24/7 for you. Your limiting beliefs are not a permanent part of who you are. They are just obsolete mental programs that can be rewritten. Napoleon Hill discovered this almost 90 years ago by studying the most successful minds in the world, and modern science has completely validated his insights. The 7 small habits I shared with you are not theory. They are practical tools tested by thousands of people who transformed their lives by applying these principles. The Daily Belief Audit gives you awareness. The Atomic Faith Protocol gives you direction. The self-suggestion reprogramming gives you the ability to install new mental programs. The Mastermind Assembly gives you an environment where limitations cannot survive. The persistence override system gives you unbreakable resilience. The Definitiveness Cure gives you clarity of purpose. And the Subconscious Programming Laboratory gives you access to infinite intelligence. But here's the truth that needs to be said. Knowledge without action is merely intellectual entertainment. You can watch 1,000 videos about personal transformation, read hundreds of books about success, and still remain exactly where you are if you do not consistently implement what you have learned. The difference between people who transform their lives and people who remain trapped by the same limitations is not intelligence, luck, or circumstances. It is the consistent application of proven principles. It is the willingness to take small actions every day that, when compounded over time, create extraordinary results. If you are watching this video, it means that some part of you still believes that change is possible. That part of you is right. Change is not just possible. It is inevitable when you consistently apply the correct principles. You have the simplest choice of your life. Continue with the same 50,000 limiting thoughts as always, or start today with just one of the 7 habits. Choose the one that caught your attention the most, just one. Start tomorrow morning. You've just discovered the same 7 habits that transformed millionaires like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison. The same principles that Hill studied for 20 years and that changed millions of lives. You now have a complete mental reprogramming system that can eliminate your limiting beliefs in just 30 days. The question isn't if it works, it's whether you will apply it starting today. If this content brought clarity to you, consider subscribing for more Napoleon Hill strategies that can accelerate your transformation. Next week, I'll reveal the mental assembly technique that Hill considered his most powerful method, but one he only shared with his private students, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Maybe it's a friend going through difficulties, a family member stuck in limiting patterns, or a colleague with potential who can't get out of their own way. In the comments, tell me which of the 7 habits impacted you the most and which one you'll start today. I read all comments and always respond when possible. Your decision to act can inspire hundreds of other people watching who are still undecided. You arrived here as someone controlled by 50,000 limiting thoughts. You're leaving with the same mental tools that transformed millionaires. Napoleon Hill said, "Whatever the human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." Your limiting beliefs died in these 25 minutes. Your new reality begins with the next thought you choose to have.